welcome to Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast, your podcast dedicated to all things Animal Crossing. Episode 227 is brought to you by all of our lovely patrons. They are the reason we get to enjoy doing this every single week. This episode is also possible thanks to our producers, For the Whim, Tiger Yudi, Tab, Mikey Toe, and lazy villager Megan Leslie. This week, Nina, Sergio, and I are going to celebrate the 2-year anniversary of Animal Crossing New Horizons. So to begin, hello Sergio, how are you doing?
Hi Chuy, I'm doing well. You know, it's so awesome to have had New Horizons for 2 years. Does it feel like 2 years to you?
Yes and no, I think. Like some points definitely felt slow, and then other points were like, yeah, this is it's going wild here,
Right.
you know. And then hi Nina, how are you doing?
Hi, doing good. Doing good. Work's been a little stressful, but doing good.
Awesome. Well, that's good. Glad you're doing good. All right, so let's go ahead and kick it off with our icebreakers. We've got some new questions to ask today. Nina, I've got a question for you this time.
Okay.
What's your favorite evolution?
What a good question. When I was little, my favorite was Vaporeon.
That's a great one.
I think. Well, and that was back when there was only 3. Now
Right,
there's
yeah.
like what, 100?
There's still only 8, but we're hoping that number will eventually get to 17, and there's one of every type, right?
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes.
true. I'm looking at him now. I don't know if it has changed. Leafeon is pretty cute.
I love Leafeon.
Yeah, and I do kind of gravitate towards grass Pokemon, but that Vaporeon is still that's and when I play
That's
Pokemon
the Pirates
Go,
Pokemon.
my Vaporeons in Pokemon Go are so strong and fast. So I think I gotta stick with Vaporeon.
Awesome.
Nice.
That's a great choice.
Thank you.
All right, question for you, Chuy.
Oh, okay.
Would you rather have 3 hands or 3 feet? You have to pick one.
3 hands. Well, do I get another arm with the hands or another leg with the feet?
Yes, yes.
Okay, 3 hands. Easily.
Okay.
It's just like, so it would help bringing up the groceries from the
Yeah.
car. It would help whenever, I don't know, I just feel like I can do way more.
It would
with
help
3
so much with
hands.
guitar, right?
Yeah, I guess I don't know where it would be like coming out of on my body, but I think like I'd have a harder time getting comfortable if I had 3 legs.
Yes.
You know,
True.
like how are chairs gonna work from here on out?
You would need another
Yeah.
hip joint.
Yeah, do I get another cheek? Sorry, I had to say it. That just makes me think of the Fairly Odd Parents when Timmy Turner is in that situation and
Yeah.
the grandma's like, "Let me pinch your cheeks."
Oh my god.
and then Timmy Turner's like, "I hope you mean my face." It's so good. Yeah, 3 arms, I had 3 hands, Sergio. That's for me.
Cool. All right.
All right, Sergio.
Mhm.
If you every time you sneezed had to sneeze out like an element, what would you want to sneeze?
Oh my goodness. So it can be anything?
Like a from the periodic table or from the natural, like like a earth, wind, fire.
Okay.
Psychic.
You know, I mean, first thought is gold. Let's go with gold, and
Gold.
I'll just take it.
Gosh,
That's a good
that
one.
sounds like it would hurt though.
Yeah,
Hmm.
it'll be worth it. Maybe I can pay for surgery later on once I build up a good amount.
I mean, just by the fact that you said it'll be worth it, like literally, it will be worth it.
That's
You're gonna be
true.
rich.
Yeah. I'm not allergic to anything though, so I would have to force it somehow.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna become allergic to
Yeah.
someone to something, forcing it.
That's true. That's true. Well, that was fun. I love this.
Yeah.
Let's get into celebrating 2 years of Animal Crossing New Horizons, everybody. I think that means it's a brand new season of this show. Not that that matters because we just keep doing it every week, but
That's
welcome
true
to
though.
season 8 of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast.
Season 8.
It is literally season 8, I think. So I'm going to have to remember to write that in the next time. So anyways, New Horizons came out March 20th, 2020, International Day of Happiness, I believe, right?
Yes. Mhm.
And we just had another happy day yesterday for us when we're recording, 2 days ago for everybody listening to when this is out. And yeah, we've got a lot of things to cover with New Horizons. I guess, Nina, you did a really great job on your own separate doc, kind of recapping the things that happened in New Horizons in year 2. Do you want to kind of kick us off by going over that?
Yeah, and I'm going to try and hit just the highlights because there's a lot. But I wanted to go through this because as we were like kind of asking each other questions about year 2, I was like, what happened in year 2? Like, where did it begin and where did it end? I couldn't remember if like, diving was part of year 2 or year 1. So I wanted to just kind of give a little bit of a recap. So starting March 17th, which is a little bit before year 2, 2021, version 1.9.0 released the update of the Bunny Day event. That was when I think they like kind of made it so that you could get everything more simply the second year, right?
Yes.
And then we also got the all the support for the Sanrio collection amiibo cards, and all of their furniture. So much stuff that we could order from the Nook Shopping Center, which was exciting. And then we also, for that version, got the Pro Editor Plus custom design editor tools, and the custom designs portal kind of opened up too. All that like pro stuff. So I know that was a little bit before March 20th, but we also got like a cake from Nintendo. Did we get a cake this year?
No,
We
I
didn't
don't
even
think
get
there
a
was an item at
cake.
all.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a bummer.
That kind of is a bummer. They weren't kidding when they said that we have nothing else for you guys.
Nope, they weren't.
So version 1.10 then released April 27th, and that was when it updated Mayday, the second iteration of Mayday, and kind of updated International Museum Day and updated the wedding seasonal events. Though Museum Day and the wedding season didn't really change. I think they were just kind of making sure that from now on they're going to happen, in perpetuum or whatever. Version 1.11 on July 28th. More seasonal events have been updated, and I think this just means kind of, again, they're going to make sure that these events are ready to roll forever now. And more seasonal items from Nook Shopping, which we're going to kind of see a lot in these version updates. It's like also more seasonal Nook items. And the next one's like also more seasonal Nook items. So if I don't mention it, it probably also had seasonal Nook items in it.
Always.
All right, here comes the big one. You guys ready?
Yes.
November 3rd, 2021, version 2.0.
The greatest day.
It was good, man, and we got the nice trailers leading up to it, and everybody was really excited. And I feel like not too much was leaked ahead of time, right?
Yeah.
So
I don't really think anything was. Like, we all went into it only knowing that Brewster was going to be in the game.
Yes.
that's true. So, Brewster now opens a cafe in the museum. Cap'n now offers boat tours. Gyroids can be unearthed. Harv's Island can be upgraded to an open air market. Cooking has been added to the game. Group stretching sessions. You can now establish ordinances for your island. The maximum number of designs from the custom design portal is increased to 200. Let's see. Additional items for Nook's Cranny and Able Sisters. Additional redemption items for the Nook Mileage program. Additional limited time seasonal items from Nook Shopping as usual. KK Slider has more music tracks, new hairstyles and reactions. Yes. New message card options have been added. New activities has been added to the Nook Miles and Nook Miles Plus, and home storage was expanded. There's a couple more nitty gritty stuff in there too, but those are our heavy hitters for 2.0, which was so exciting.
So big.
It was big. Yeah. It was big.
Yeah. And then Happy Home Paradise on top of all that too.
Yeah, for real. On top of all of it, Happy Home Paradise, which is just a beautiful little game. After version 2.0, something really interesting happens with these versions that are being released, because it is just bug fixes and a couple of Nook International items, but it makes me wonder if Happy Home Paradise and version 2.0 weren't really either tested very much or if they were rushed a little bit at the end, because we're about to see a whole lot of bug fixes. And I'm not going to go over every single one, because a lot of times it's very specific bug fixes and it's very hard wording to kind of get around, or if it's just something that maybe not a whole lot of people saw. But gosh, there's some interesting ones. I got all of this information off the Nintendo site, where it was like a page on like how to update your game. So if you are interested, you can look all of these up. But going forward, okay, version 2.0.1, which was released November 11th. So, less than 10 days after 2.0 came out. Yeah. Fixed an issue where residents would cook using something other than a kitchen. I don't think I ever saw that. Did you guys see that?
No,
I wish.
That sounds incredible.
It does.
Fixed an issue where residents visiting a player's home would talk as if they were in the cafe. This is another one that I'm kind of sad I didn't get to see. That sounds incredible. And then for the DLC, it says fixed an issue that would allow players to proceed with the game without designing the school, which is interesting. So somehow people were skipping parts of the playthrough. And then another interesting one, fixed an issue where you could obtain turnips countless times from Joan in the hospital. So a little sad that one got fixed. That was a good little money maker for a quick second. The next big one, version 2.0.2, released November 18th, so about a week later. More issues being fixed. During one of Captain's boat tours, Brewster could overlap with the player and prevent the player from moving. So now we all know that Brewster is a void creature, not to touch him. That's why he so gently scoots your coffee across the table. He doesn't want you to touch him. Oh, here's one that I came across. The music for group stretching could sometimes wouldn't play if an audio device close to the plaza was playing music. I'm very glad they fixed that, because it was awkward. And then the Nook Miles Plus activity, visit the roost for a coffee break, would appear multiple times in the same day. I feel like, Chuy, you talked about that once. Do you remember?
What was it again?
If you visited, or there was a Nook Miles Plus activity for visit the roost for a coffee break, would appear multiple times throughout the day.
Oh, yeah. I think I might have run into that, but it's hard to remember. But it was basically,
You could just keep getting coffee.
Yeah, that should be fine, though. Anyone can have multiple coffee breaks. You have 2 hands, and Chuy has 3.
3 hands.
Yeah, and I think they wanted to change it just because they're like, the I guess, friendship you make toward Brewster only goes up like that first visit at a time. And so anyone's beyond that, it was just like, yep, just drink more coffee, get more hyper.
Oh gosh. And Brewster starts warning you about it too.
Mm-hmm.
Another strange one for the DLC was the roommates would not appear in a follow-up scene if their shared vacation home situation was ended while in the yard of their vacation home. So that's a kind of weird specific one. But gosh, some of these bugs are so interesting. Like, who figured out that was the problem and that's what was causing, XYZ to happen? It's interesting to me. Version 2.0.3, November 23rd. So they're starting to stretch out just a little bit. Couple weird ones on this. Fixed an issue where items could be duplicated through a specific method. I did not hear about this. Did you guys? People
I think I
duplicating
did,
items.
but I wasn't
actually, I
sure of
might
the
have.
method. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, they tend to find those duplication methods and use them as much as possible before they're patched.
Yeah. Right.
And this little patch was just that issue and one other. So it seems like it was just to stop people from that duplication. 2.0.4, released December 15th. Fixed an issue under the seasonal recipes for DIY recipes. The maple leaf rug and the frozen floor tiles were not under the appropriate seasons. I remember seeing that one and being like confused. And then for the DLC, fixed an issue where facility members were wearing clothing that uses custom designs appeared to not be wearing any clothing at all.
Yay!
Still sad that this one got fixed. That one was incredible.
That one's acceptable, right?
Yeah, they just didn't feel like wearing anything that day. That's okay.
Nope. That's fine. They're animals.
Yeah.
2.0.5, February 15th. So a whole month later, fix an issue where Luna would repeat the explanation related to a search by island's name option over and over again. And in the DLC, fixed an issue where the player could not progress past the loading screen when trying to revisit a vacation home, which sounds really scary. If the player previously released an ant or fly in the yard of that vacation home. Like,
so specific.
So interesting ones. That was actually a bigger one. There's a few more in that February 15th one too, but just to kind of refresh our memories of all the things we've gotten in year 2. You're welcome.
I love it. There's just like definitely the vibe that this update had to come out and there was still plenty to fix.
They were fixing things until February. So for November, December, January, and February, they were still fixing things.
Right.
Yeah. Now it doesn't seem like there's anything left to fix.
Hopefully
or
not.
add. The game is done.
They're done.
It's done forever.
It's a little upsetting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, regardless, thank you for taking us through the entirety of these fixes and everything that they've changed for year 2. Definitely a different year from year 1, you know?
Yeah.
It really is, yeah.
And definitely a slower year, I would say, as far as those updates go. Like, we got the biggest one of all time, but before that, it was quite a drought of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into talking about 2 years of Animal Crossing New Horizons, and specifically, our second year with the game.
Yeah.
And I want to start out by asking both of you, what were your favorite Animal Crossing moments over the past year? Sergio, you want to kick us off here?
Sure, and I think, for most of us, it has to be the big 2.0 update, and not just when that came out, which was awesome, but like the hype about it and having everyone excited for Animal Crossing again. When we got that direct telling us what we were gonna get, it was insane. I think nobody expected everything we got. Like, everybody expected less. Nintendo way over delivered on that one. That was awesome.
Yeah, and you're totally right. Like, we went into it, like I said, Brewster's coming, and that was big enough for people to be happy. But
Yeah.
then that was 40 seconds of the whole thing. And then all of a sudden it was just like news after news after news. It was just so much that, I don't know, definitely blew my mind.
Yeah. I also had a very nice experience with the fireworks festival. So, last year, on year one, I was able to attend the event multiple times, but this time, I wanted to make it special and I wanted to share it with someone that's very dear to my heart. And the only time we were able to do it was on the last, what is it, Sunday, right? The last Sunday of the month.
August.
Right. So we were only able to visit it once, but it made it more special because I shared it with a special person to me. So only once, but more special than last year. That was very fun. And of course, Nico. Part of year two. It's one of the best parts of year two for sure.
Nico is a masterpiece for sure.
Yes.
I love that. Yeah, the fireworks, I think I'm trying to remember if I went to any of them this past year. I think I did because I felt like there were some new things, right, for the prizes. But maybe there weren't, but
something definitely changed. I just can't put my finger on it. Something maybe with red?
Yeah, I want to say Red had some of the new prizes that and I mean, of course, we got like a lot more new prizes later on.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, I honestly,
it's been
I
so
feel like
long.
I missed it this year.
Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Nina? What are some of your favorite moments?
Definitely getting Brewster and especially the gyroids. I love the gyroids. I loved creating like a little forest for them on my island. I really have enjoyed especially the storyline of Happy Home Paradise. That's one that still took me by surprise. So I think those are my two big heavy hitters, gyroids and Sweet Lottie.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, so cute. And the Happy Home stuff, like, honestly, like, you can keep playing through that and it just, like, keeps adding more and more for you. So, yeah, if you stopped at, like, whatever the 30 homes ending was, like, keep going.
Yeah.
Because there's even more that you can unlock and use around your island. It's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. For me, mine are kind of, like, a little less in-game related, but I really loved the plushies. I think they were like the Sane plushies.
Oh,
the
yes.
ones I got them through PlayAsia, but just seeing those after seeing the Build-A-Bear ones, which were great, but like they got Flick and CJ in this set, and then Celeste and Blathers and Gulliver and Pascal, like. Come on, that is the dream lineup right there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, getting those plushies was great. And then new amiibo cards. You know me, I love my complete collection of amiibo, and just like I had a lot of fun watching people like get back into amiibo cards with this game and going like, yeah, I love seeing people unwrap the cards or unbox them, unpack them, whatever you want to call it. And then I also love just like everybody trading them too. It was just fun. It felt like I was connected to everyone with Amiibo once again, because it was a very it's hard to get them all, let me tell you. And it was a very lonely road for me the first time around.
I mean, you created like a whole system in our Discord, so that's definitely one of your big ones.
Yeah, and I think people have done really well. I think a lot of people have gotten their complete like fifth series of Amiibo. So yeah, that's awesome. I'm really happy that people were interested in it. It was fun.
And you reminded me, I think that the soundtrack was part of year two, but we should have mentioned it because it's incomplete. It was rendered incomplete by Nintendo themselves, so nope, not on the list.
Yeah, it is pretty sad that it's like now not a complete soundtrack
Yes.
because it's like they added so much music in the update, like even
Especially
beyond.
the Happy Home Paradise.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like I was gonna say, beyond the KK Slider tracks, there's all the Happy
Yes.
Home Paradise stuff. It's a lot. It's so much music, and really, I need them to put that out.
Yes.
Put out disc set number 2. Every song is here. That's the name of it.
Oh
Yes.
my
We
gosh.
have to pay full price again. We would do it.
I'll do it. I will do it. All right. So, next question from Nina. Do you wanna ask us this one?
Sure. I mean, I've got to be, the pessimism to your optimism. What was your least memorable part of this year 2 all our updates? I guess I can start with mine because it was the Sanrio. I was like pumped when they first announced all the Sanrio stuff, and we got so many new items and we got new villagers, which is what we were really craving. And then they fizzled out way more quickly than I ever thought they would. I rarely use any of those items. And
Yeah.
I rarely invite any of the villagers over just because they're so distinct that they don't match a lot of themes and stuff. So I don't know. I was really looking forward to Sanrio, and then they just kind of dropped off for me.
Yeah, and I could see it too. Like, there were definitely cool items for them. A lot of people really liked the villagers,
Mm-hmm.
because they came out so long ago, and those cards technically never came to the US. Like, they were only in Europe and Japan and Australia. And so, like, for a lot of people, these were brand new characters that
Mm-hmm.
they'd never gotten to meet and everything. So it was really
Right.
fun seeing people excited about getting those, but in practice, it was like, they're, are they really getting used? But luckily, I do appreciate that those cards are like pretty readily available still to this
Yeah,
day.
that's true.
So yeah, if you ever have an interest in them, they still give you some cool things, but
Mm-hmm.
they're not around.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, I would say that basically all the updates before 2.0 were kind of lackluster. It it didn't seem like there was much going on in the game for a little while,
Yeah.
So I was very happy 2.0 happened. Definitely going to, I guess, just keep enjoying it for now. But
Mm.
yeah, everything before that, it definitely felt slow and
Oh.
was just like, yeah, is there anything gonna happen in this game? No?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, see you later.
Yeah, we were pretty tortured for a little while. I'm just like being Nintendo, please update us on whether you're gonna
Yeah,
update
right.
or not. Like we just wanted any information. So yeah, I can definitely agree with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sergio?
For me, it's kind of the opposite. It's the updates, if you can even call them that, after the 2.0 update.
Mm.
Because, like
Mm,
Nina said, it was mostly bug fixes. And I mean, in a way, that's okay because, yes, they did tell us that we were really not getting anything past, the 2.0 update, any major content. But what I was hoping they would do was to add a couple of things that were nice, but not necessarily like too critical to highlight on a direct or something. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
thinking like the quality of life things that everybody wants, like more button shortcuts or multi-crafting, things like that. If they could have just sneaked those in as an update to the update as part
Yeah.
of the bug fixes or something, but no, it was really just bug fixes. And it goes with what Nina said that, it kind of looks like Nintendo just didn't really test this as much, or they thought, well, we'll let the players find the bugs and then we'll fix them afterwards, which I guess,
Yeah.
it's a valid approach, and it's not very Nintendo like, but I mean it worked.
Mm-hmm. I guess so.
yeah. Yeah, and I guess you're right. Like, at that point, Nintendo has said like there's no plans for any more updates, but then we're still seeing updates, right? They're just
Yeah.
it's just like coming to terms with like it's not going to be the updates we really want. It's updates that make the game like better overall, but it's overall not. It's not an update.
Yeah.
Oh, it's anti-naked updates.
Anti-update. Yes. Awesome. Well, I guess the next question for all of you, who was your best villager friend in year 2? Because, you know, it's Animal Crossing. What's Animal Crossing without the villagers?
Yes.
So were there any villagers that really, like, you know, just stole the show for you this year, Sergio?
For me, it has to be Wolfgang. He's already one of my favorites overall, but yeah, he's always just there for me. He keeps sending me really like strange letters, but like strange in a good way. He keeps telling me advice that either is very timely or doesn't fit me at all, but he's heartfelt about it. So I respect him a lot. And yeah, and one thing that I noticed, he's pretty constant at the KK concert. He's almost always there, and I like sitting next to him. So yeah, Wolfgang for sure.
He's cranky, right?
Yes.
I love the cranky villagers.
Yeah, they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Nina?
I mean, my year 1 was all Gaston, and year 2, I really fell in love with Gonzo. Also a cranky. And then when we got the villager updates, I just fell in love with Shino.
Oh,
I
nice.
love her little demon face. She's so cute.
Yeah,
So
those devil
Gonzo and
horns.
Shino, yeah, and her little like demon teeth that she has when she smiles too.
Yeah,
I love her.
I've got those. Jackie calls it my dinosaur tooth.
Dinosaur tooth. Love it.
My teeth sometimes don't tuck into my mouth.
Oh no.
So one of them's exposed, like I'm a little dinosaur ready to chomp on you.
You're just exposing yourself as a vampire now.
Yeah. I am a vampire.
Chewy Cullen over here.
Awesome. For me, Azalea stole the show on my island. Just like she came in, she said, "Listen, I'm only going to come in here if you give me this stack of money that costs like 300,000 bells to craft." And I posted it on Twitter, and people were just amazed that was something that could happen. So it was fun. It was real fun.
Incredible.
Yeah, and then she came in and she was just a delight. Her house is really cute. She's always cooking stuff too, so I got a lot of recipes from her. Yeah, I really like her. Green, she might be one of the reasons I'm still like really into green right now. That might be my favorite color at the moment.
Is she normal?
She is snooty.
Snooty, okay.
Yeah, I tend to like the snooties. Pearl's also snooty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Cute.
yep, pretty fun ones. Sergio, I think was this your question up next? No, it's another one of mine. Okay. What did you spend the most time doing around your island this time around? I think for me, it was just collecting all the new items and farming so I could cook everything.
Farming, that's a good one.
Yeah, I had to make sure I had my crops, had to make sure I was watering them so I could get as many things from them as possible, as much produce, and then just like cook and cook and cook. I loved that stuff. Yeah. So what about you, Nina?
Very similar. I kind of made areas around my island like to make use of all the new stuff. So I did a little farm so that I could garden also and cook. Made a little gyroid forest, added the spooky trees into my graveyard, and I kind of updated my villager yards too. So I wanted to, put all the new stuff to good use, and it was really fun.
I love that. I still need like the spooky trees without what's it called? Without the pumpkins on them.
Yeah, it's a
Ah,
DIY.
Yeah, I still need to learn that one at
Mm-hmm.
some point.
It's a good one.
So what about you, Sergio? What did you spend your most of your time on?
for me, it was mostly cleaning up my island. Since I mostly play like once or twice a week nowadays, every time that I logged in, there were like rampant flowers everywhere. And
Yeah.
I still don't want to use the invisible patterns to like prevent them from growing. I mean, it's kind of annoying at first, but honestly, it never felt like a chore. It just felt like, okay, I gotta do this first, and then I can do whatever I came here to do, like to go see KK or to find Daisy May and buy turnips. But yeah, it's always nice to have a stroll on the island. I really love my paths, my wooden paths. So it's always like nice to walk all around, and even if there's a lot of extra flowers that I don't want in specific spots, it's just more fun time.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, you always have to do so much cleaning with the flowers too.
Yeah.
That they're overpowered in this game. They're the final boss of New
Yeah.
Horizons. Yeah. All right, Sergio, now this is your question.
All right. So, question is, how would you compare your playtime of year two to in New Horizons to your playtime of year two on Animal Crossing New Leaf?
Oh.
For example,
Hmm.
to give you my answer, I felt equally done with both games. So by the end of year two, yeah, I was pretty much done for the most part. But in New Leaf, I had played a couple hundred more hours, about 300 more hours than I did in New Horizons. So I did more. I accomplished more of my goals in New Leaf than in New Horizons. In New Horizons, I still have a lot of things that I want to do and I can do. I guess because in New Horizons they added so much, right? So that's
Yeah.
why there's more goals or more things to do in the long run. But yeah, overall I feel pretty complete with both games at the end of year two.
Mm.
That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, I have a little bit of a hard time remembering how year two went for me in New Leaf, but I want to say it was pretty similar. Like around year two, I probably stopped logging in every day and more focused in on like, once or twice a week,
Mm.
you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I will say, like, for me, going into year two, I already had more hours on New Horizons than I ever had on New
Oh,
Leaf.
Yeah.
really?
So, yeah, so like, I think, I mean, my hours are hard to calculate exactly because I did swap DSs for a little bit. Like, I was playing on yours a lot, Sergio, your Pikachu one that had
Oh, yeah.
the capture card, and so I probably was like just over 1,000 hours on New Leaf there.
Mm-hmm.
I was over 1,000 hours well before the first year was up
Yes,
on
right.
New
Yeah.
Horizons. So, like, I don't know, just taking that into account, I'm like, I already played New Horizons so much more than New Leaf by this point. So, for me to be like kind of at that same point is incredible.
Yeah, right.
Like, just how much they packed into the game. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was solid. Good times.
Mm-hmm. I, gosh, I'm kind of in the same boat, Chewy. I don't really remember, like a demarcation between years 1 and 2 in New Leaf. I feel like I was still going pretty strong, especially for the holidays in New Leaf. Um,
Mm,
but same with Chewy. I have played many more hours of New Horizons in far less of a time frame than New Leaf. I think I've already I passed. Gosh, I think in the 7 years total, I had close to 2,000 hours
Oh.
for New Leaf, and have gotten more than that in New Horizons. I've got to
Yeah.
look at my numbers, but it's a lot. um, and gosh, I played New Leaf for a long time though, but it's really hard to compare the two. But yeah, I think I
hmm
have played far more New Horizons.
Yeah. It's just such a playable game, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah. And Sergio, it looks like you got one more question for us too.
Yes, I wanted to know what are you looking forward to the most in year three? And for me, it's kind of easy because I have been working towards this. I want to finish Happy Home Paradise,
Oh yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I'm already enjoying it way more than I expected. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna love the ending. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
I cannot. We cannot wait for you to get to that point.
You gotta keep us updated. How far
That's
are you
gonna
now,
be.
actually?
So let's see. I designed what are the two facilities after the school? It was the cafe and the restaurant. I did those
Mm-hmm.
two, and then I think I did three more houses after that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost
This is
there.
exciting.
You're getting closer. We're definitely doing an episode dedicated to that.
Ooh,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. For me, year three, I think just like beating the game 100%. At least like
Oh,
the Nook Mile like
right,
long-term
right.
goals. Like I'm determined to make that happen in year three. So I'm getting back in the habits of doing the KK slider shows, except for the nights where I have to go to improv, because then I'm literally not around while KK slider is on.
Mm,
It's such a bummer. But yeah, 100% beating the game. That's my goal, year three.
That's awesome. I know
nice.
you had a chart for a little while. Have you been
Yeah.
keeping up with it?
Um, no. I mean, I still have it saved, but I haven't been doing like the daily stuff these days.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, still kind of doing what's the word? Smaller login times.
right, right.
Yeah. So, yep,
Mm,
that's the goal. Just gonna
exciting.
keep at it.
Yeah.
And then Nina, I think you've got the last one.
Looking forward to year three. Gosh, well, I still haven't worked very much on Bergamot. I need to
Mm,
continue building that up. I haven't played in a very long time. And I'm wondering if it's just because I've been a little overwhelmed with my job lately.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I am starting to feel that itch again. Like I kind of really wanted to play today. Um, and this past weekend I brought my Switch to different places with me. So at least I've got like the forethought of maybe I'm gonna want to play, but I just haven't gotten around to it.
Mm,
Um I so Bergamot's out there ready for me to work on it. I have unlocked terraforming finally and paving. So I'm excited to do that, and I do want to start over Happy Home Paradise again. Lottie
mm,
just came and said that was open up now too.
nice.
So I think it's gonna happen soon. I think I'm starting to feel it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, you've gotten to the part where you can finally build everything and make it your whatever your dreams have ever imagined, you know?
Yeah, which is daunting. I think that's probably why I've put it off. It's a lot to
It
do.
is, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely a lot.
Yeah.
How are you thinking you'll approach it? Do you think you'll try like flattening? Because I know last time you liked
Mm,
building around the natural features, right?
Yeah. I think what I'm gonna try to do this time is like start from my airport and work outward. I do still like to kind of work with what I have, but I also was always kind of smitten with those islands that started immediately with stairs. Like as soon as you get off the airport, you had to
yes,
go up,
yes.
or rather quickly you did. And I want to play around with that. Um, and I think I'm gonna have a lot more layers than Keelhaul did. Keelhaul was pretty flat, actually. And if Bergamot is a place to grow tea, then it needs to be pretty hilly. So I think I'm gonna
Oh.
terraform more than I did.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the times when I had like a very hilly cliffside for all my villagers to live in. So,
Yeah.
yeah, you should give that a go. It's pretty fun to do.
hmm So I guess I gotta start moving villager homes first. It's just a lot. I gotta start making a
It
list, I
is a lot.
guess.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I made a huge list to move everything, and It was like a whole 10-day plan that I had mapped out at one point.
Yeah.
So it was fun. It was a good time.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, yeah, I mean, this was year 2, another fun year, definitely a different year from year 1,
Yeah.
but we're going into year 3, and I'm sure it's going to be a lot quieter from here on out. We're entering the quiet in between times, so yeah, we'll be on the lookout for whatever's next for Animal Crossing. But for now, let's go ahead and hop into our Haken's Islander Corner. For those of you who don't know, every single week we ask our patrons on Patreon a question and read their answers out loud here on the show. This week's question was, what is your Animal Crossing hot take? We asked them, last week we talked about ours, and I was like, I really want to know what other people are thinking here.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll go Nina, then me, then Sergio.
Okay.
Okay.
So Quantrell is our first answer, who says, the game should have integrated Pocket Camp compatibility from the very beginning. It would have increased the Pocket Camp player base and gave New Horizon players more items to play with, since you get 3 free sets of event items every month. That's plenty of items without spending a single penny. I don't know if I follow this. So, hold on. Integrated Pocket Camp compatibility. Didn't we have compatibility? Like, didn't we get items for logging into Pocket Camp?
Yeah, I think what he's talking about is like Pocket Camp stuff in New Horizons.
Yes.
Or vice versa, I guess.
Right.
Like, bringing people through both of them. That way, like, you could earn stuff in Pocket Camp, send it to New Horizons, or, yeah. And, I mean, I don't know how hot that take is. I think a lot of people really want a lot of that Pocket Camp stuff, you know?
Yeah, the furniture is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. They did have, like, the little promotional thing where you can get items from getting a code from your Pocket Camp, but outside of that, they really haven't done anything with it. There was a crossover event, and that's about it.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Hopefully, the next game is just like they really go all out with items.
Yeah.
That's what I think people need for the future of Animal Crossing, especially now that it's gone like to this big designing focus,
Right.
Yeah. Or they can do my hot take and just delete all the characters, redo them all as individuals.
No.
All brand new, all brand new.
No.
Turtles, foxes.
Not worth it. No.
What if they did all of the villager species that we've always wanted but never got? Owls, bats, turtles, foxes.
But there's so many characters I love.
I know. Yeah, it's not worth it. It's
All
interesting,
right.
but not worth it though.
All right. All right. So Squee said, terraforming should never have existed.
What?
Instead, we should have an option to reshuffle the map through Tom Nook. It could take a day like infrastructure does, and it would generate a fresh map for you and randomly dot the various structures about and still retain the move a building feature. That way, we have the feel of restarting without having to flatten and rebuild, while still having some control on where buildings and bridges inclines are placed. Conversely, if they gave us the option to retain our Nook Mile achievements, DIYs, catalogs, and villagers, but move all of it to a fresh island, that would make me happy. Although, I will forever miss Blather's tent. I can look back at the photos. This one is a hot take.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But I think the direction here is definitely like terraforming is such a pain to do.
Yeah.
So I totally get where you're coming from with this Squee, but I mean, I think the biggest thing that they could have done was at least like played with like a terraforming editor in Happy Home Paradise,
Yes,
because
yes.
like we have all these fixed spaces that we can decorate around, but we can't like re-terraform a pond or anything. And like if they played with like an overhead view of that,
Yeah.
that would have been like, oh, what if you could eventually unlock this on your island and just do an overhead view terraforming?
Yes.
Overhead view terraforming would be interesting too if instead of having to do it block by block, you kind of had to do it I don't know, like acre by acre. Like you could change the acre into different types that could fit right there.
Yes.
Oh yeah, like and then changing like the biome. Is that what you're kind of thinking?
Well, not even the biome. I was thinking like it could be a scraggly cliff or a sloping cliff or a beach or something. Like as long as that acre fit along with what you have near it, you could change the whole plot at once. But
Yeah.
I would love to see different biomes too.
Yeah, so definitely a hot take. Get rid of terraforming. Never bring it back.
So Ben said, I don't like to complain about games that I played well over 1,000 hours, but my hot take for New Horizons is that the game is excellent. Sorry, that's not a hot take, but the truth. Actually, my real hot take is that they need more unique personalities, or maybe just strip the personalities and have each villager unique to in his or her own way, with unique dialogue and reactions. Yes, I was listening to your hot take, Chuy. I don't think they need to whittle it down to 20, but maybe take a lesson from the original Pokemon and go with a solid 150 villagers. My only real complaint on the game is that the dialogues can be quite repetitious sometimes. Yeah. Man, so Casey, now 150. Now yeah, I can agree with that number, not 20.
That's true. I guess that's fine, but I mean, that's still a lot of characters to write.
Yeah.
150.
Yeah.
That is a lot to write, especially with how much dialogue is already in the game.
For real. I would want to know, I'd be interested to know how long that would take. If you really, truly had 150 individual villagers who had a robust dialogue and then also needed to be translated into 100 different languages, how many hours does Nintendo need to do that?
I think I remember an interview that I forget who did it, but there was an interview with people who worked on New Leaf and everything, and they said that the amount of text in the game was about like 20 novels worth.
Wow.
So I'm guessing
and that
a lot.
was New Leaf.
Yeah, and that's like 8 personalities, and I mean that said, like not all of it's dialogue, but I can only imagine a good chunk of it was.
Gosh, wow.
Yeah.
Well,
all right. Oh, are you next, or is it? Yes, you're next.
Okay. Ganuki says, my hot take is that I want more unpredictability in the game. I wish villagers would move out randomly still. I wish you couldn't always choose where villagers' houses were built. I wished some limited time items were truly limited time, and if you missed them, then you had to rely on other players to trade you with them. I wish visiting NPCs were more random in their visits and less predictable. I guess this comes from me wanting the game to feel more alive, and by having full control like we currently do, it doesn't feel that way all the time.
Yes.
I totally agree with this. I still want there to be like hurricanes or something. I want my island one day to be just like wiped out and I've got to rebuild stuff. And I feel the same way about the NPCs. They have become way too predictable, and especially with Harv's Island, it's like a little too easy now. I don't know. I agree with this hot take. I like it.
Yes.
Yeah, even some of the Harv's Island, like Reese has nothing to say anymore. It's so sad.
It is.
And then
she's been body snatched.
Yeah, and then even like Harriet, like once you've gotten all of the hairstyles, it's just like, probably the reason they didn't add her in the first place, like you get all the hairstyles, you can do them yourself. Now there's like nothing from her.
Yeah.
It's such a bummer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, so now it's my turn. Sorry to cut you off on that first
Not
one.
at all.
So Sasha said, "My hot take is that I don't like fishing. I find it hard to concentrate on the task. I don't like not knowing what it's going to be, and I can't fish for very long. I get bored with it very quickly. Catching bugs on the other end is something that I enjoy a lot more. Although I did enjoy it more in New Leaf and Wild World than in New Horizons."
Ah.
There's some, you know what? There's some quirks that I've learned about like bug catching in New Horizons. I don't know if this is also true to the fish, but like there are certain bugs that don't appear until after you've caught 100 bugs in the
What?
game.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, and I've learned this from like watching speed runs and things now. So,
Wow.
What? Which bugs? You remember?
I think there's some of the more rare palm tree bugs or something.
Oh.
Just some different rare bugs, but they do not appear until after you've caught 100 bugs. So like the speed runs really take a shift with that because
Right.
they have to
Yeah.
like actively catch a bunch of things before they can even get
Oh,
access to
right.
some.
Yeah.
So yeah, very interesting quirk with the game. But yeah, fish. These speed runs for fishing are not popular because of this. Like you really
Yeah.
don't know what you're gonna get. It's a lot of RNG, and you really just have to get lucky and hope that you can read the shadow sizes well because unless you learn those, like there's no chance you're gonna know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely understand this struggle, and I'm really hoping that we get to the point where the water is just crystal clear
Ooh.
in Animal Crossing. Crystal clear waters that give us beautiful views of the fish and
Yes.
sea life, you know?
Ooh.
Or at least a little bit of detail. I don't know if I want them to be crystal clear, but maybe if you could kind of see like a base color or something,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
overall color.
Yeah.
Oh.
That would definitely be helpful.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
Nice. Gabriel R said, "My hot take is that the game could really benefit from a large city hub, where you could maybe meet other players, shop for more unique or high-end things. It could also really give you a nice contrast between the hustle and bustle of the city and your own quiet island life." You know
Ooh.
what? I agree with that. I like the difference. I mean, ideally it would be an option if you want the city part to your island, but I would have one for sure. I like the contrast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think when it's described like that as a contrast to what the island setting is, I think that is a pretty nice way to view it for
Yeah.
sure.
Yep.
Because my struggle with it has always been like travel time to go to the city,
Yeah.
Mm.
load times to deal with all of these things.
I wonder if that's going to be our next iteration. If like we've had this pendulum swing way far out to deserted islands, if next time it really will be back to the city.
Yeah,
Interesting.
who knows?
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be pretty fun, honestly.
Yeah. Bub337 says, hot take, Animal Crossing is more fun if you cheat. I did play legitimately
Oh.
for a while. I paid off my house by the rules and I was pleased with the accomplishment, but I became a bit bored shortly after. Time travel is a profitable business. I watched for good turnip prices online, then I would set my Switch to Sunday and buy and sell tons of them. I bought hundreds of Nook Mile tickets and gold nuggets on eBay. This all seems like selfish greediness from Nook, but Nookazon is a blast if you're rich. Paying off people's bridges and selling expensive items dirt cheap is fun. I've also exploited a duplication glitch or two.
Oh wow.
Incredible. That really is
I
a hot
love it.
take. Out of all of
Yeah.
these, I think that's the
Yeah.
hottest take of all.
Yeah, definitely. There's, a lot of the community really likes the purity of like the process, getting
Yeah.
all the things that you can, right?
Yeah.
But this one's like, this is my process.
You know what? I think Bub337 is a code name for red.
Could be. Are you red? Let us know. All right, so the next one is from Toadette, and Toadette said, "My hot take is that I don't like the froggy chair. It's just a derpy chair that used to make fart sounds. Another one is that I don't want Rossetti to go back to his old job of yelling at me for resetting my game because I still hate it."
Oh, I agree
So-
to that. That froggy chair is overrated.
Oh.
All right, froggy chair haters, unite.
Yep, we've united.
There
We're gonna
they
start
are,
a club.
everyone. You know where to find them. Head over to Haken Discord.
Yeah, come yell at me.
Amy said, "My hot take is that I don't really have much sympathy for players who binge the game, time travel to get everything quickly, went to Treasure Island to get items that weren't available yet, and then lost interest after 6 months and said the game didn't have any staying power. That's because it's designed to be a slow-paced game that takes months or years to get everything, people." Yes, Amy, preach it. I agree.
You were the perfect person to read this comment.
Yeah, I mean it's a little sad to see, but Emmy is right. It's their fault. They ask for it in a way, and we warned them. We did our best to warn them, and they still don't want to listen.
Look, the hot take now is that we cheat, Sergio. It's all about the cheating.
The next time one of these games comes out, Sergio's gonna go like full Japanese political candidate with like a truck that has like a speaker on the top and be like, "You guys, do not play this quickly. Like, slow your roll, everybody."
next year.
Yeah. Incredible. I love it. Tab is next. And she says, "Here's my hot take. I wish they had left some of the sassiness in the villagers' dialogue. I understand why they had to tone it down, but I think they went too far. I know my kids would have thought the slightly mean dialogue was hilarious, and it's too bad they don't get to experience that in New Horizons." Oh, I think a lot of people feel this way, actually. They want someone, to yell at them on their island.
Yeah. Everybody wants to get yelled at.
It's the best part of your day.
Sure is. Islander M said, "I feel like some of these hot takes aren't going to be as spicy as people think, but I have yet to hear from someone who agrees that Wild World had the best holidays in the franchise. It's not a hill I'd die on, but I really do believe it. And the reason is because they have absolutely no foundation in reality whatsoever. Animal Crossing is a lot of people's way of escaping the real world, and one of the ways it does this is by being wacky and quirky. The Wild World holidays were exactly that. Also, most people already have stuff in the real world to look forward to around holiday times. School holidays or family get-togethers or presents or fun meals. Adding Animal Crossing on top of that, all of that doesn't add that much excitement, and it makes the in-game holidays easier to miss because you're busy in real life. The Wild World ones were so random that it brought something special into a totally normal week between real-life holiday events. Sure, some of them may have been super dumb, yay day, but that was always part of the fun. It was always nice to have some extra variety in game too. That's a good argument for them, for sure. I think I feel like I almost agree with this. Like, I wouldn't mind if they just did like a bunch of just made up special holidays for the game instead.
I would have liked to see a balance of that.
Yeah, I just want them to be, like, big, because Wild World's holidays also didn't seem, like, too eventful.
Right.
Outside of, like, I really like the acorn one, of course, that had you running around collecting as many acorns as possible, but after you're done with that, it was like, okay, well, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I guess is the bigger holidays in some of the other games, too, but... Yeah, I think I like that, the way you put it.
Yeah. Tumek said, "My hot take is that Animal Crossing is paced too slowly. I think buildings should be upgraded and moved instantly. Villagers should move out right away. You should receive mail orders immediately. Bertrand saying, I hate the real-time clock, and in order to make this franchise fun for me to play, I have to constantly be pushing the progress forward by time traveling. I hate the slow pace. I think it's extremely boring unless I am continuously making some kind of progress. Pick up the pace, Animal Crossing. I'm tired of waiting around to just play the game. Oof. I have a hard time agreeing to this to make, but I think it should be a choice. It should be up to the player because yeah, if you enjoy the game like this, you should be able to play it like this, even though it's wrong.
That would be interesting to have it as a choice. Like when you get something shipped to you, do you want express or
right?
So maybe if you are choosing express, it costs a little bit more or something. That could be cool.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, Pip says, my hot take is that they need to bring more personalities back to the villagers. The main one being is rudeness. There's Tab and Pip are on the same boat. Back in the GameCube days, some villagers were so rude that they sometimes even hurt your feelings. But somehow it made you want to be their friend even more. I understand why they had to dial the rudeness down, but I think they did it too much, and they need to bring some of it back. I would love a villager with some sass where you would have to work extra hard to become their friend like the old days.
Yes.
Or bring back population growing for the Switch, which, that would be cool. I would love to play population growing, without a headache. Oh, incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, really awesome. Love hearing all of your hot takes. Definitely just something I like to hear. What people really think of Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta all stop being nice. We gotta be sassy.
Yeah, villagers should drag you through the mud with what they have to say.
So should Hakenites.
Yeah. Anyways, for any patrons listening, our next question is going to be, what is your most memorable Animal Crossing moment in year 2 of New Horizons? So yeah, just check in with all of you, see how you enjoyed the game this past year, and we really appreciate you for always giving us your answers to these. It's always fun to read them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And thank you all so much for tuning in to this episode of Haken, an Animal Crossing podcast. If you're sad to see us go, join us over on Discord. You can talk with other people who love Animal Crossing as much as you do, including Sergio, Nina, and me. Want to support Haken in a bigger way and tell us your answers in the Haken Islander Corner? Head over to patreon.com/ChuyPlays. $1 goes a long way to making this show even better and includes tons of goodies for you to enjoy. Get a special role on Discord, read a monthly newsletter, and get many other great rewards. We really appreciate the support and put your money towards some great things on the show. If you're listening on YouTube, what are your hot takes for Animal Crossing? Reviews really help the show get discovered by more people. Please leave a review on your platform of choice and let us know how we're doing. Haken is a wild production brought to you by Chuy, Sergio, Nina, and all of our patrons. We thank you for listening, and we hope you have a great week.
Goodbye, everybody.
See you all next time.